Hello there, my name's Jordan Debano. Welcome to my channel. And if you are looking to create powerful transformation within your life, you've landed in the right space. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, and I hope you enjoy. Today, we're going to be speaking about myth, mind and myth, the myth within the mind. It's going to be a series, it's going to be a few of these videos because this topic does go pretty deep. But today, the specific thing that I wanted to speak about was how all our memories have a component of imagination, or being that our memories are only part true. There's actually scientific research out there where they've, if you type this in, like memory and imagination in Google, you'll see that there's heaps of like medical journals and articles and what have you on this subject. And they've actually discovered that every time we recall a memory, the way we describe it is under the influence. Like what's taking part in the description of this memory is part imagination and also part of what happened. And I wanted to bring this up because, you know, when there's a lot of tension in our life, when there's a lot of stress, one of the favorite things that people love to do is to bitch and moan and complain, right? And bitching and moaning can take part in talking about what's happening around us, which is also part myth. That's a different subject, probably the next video. So we can talk about what's happening in the now, or we can talk about what's happened in the past, right? We can talk about what's happened in the past, what has happened to us, okay? Again, that's another myth, but we're not talking about that in this video. So when we get into talking about what's happened to us, again, I don't want to take away anyone's past. I don't even want to take away my past because what we speak about does have an element of truth to it. But if we can also be aware that part of what we're saying is imagined, we open up a very, very interesting space for ourselves. One where we are less charged, we are less emotionally charged and triggered by certain people, by certain aspects of our lives, you know, money, love, working for someone, business, you name it, right? Health. And when we're less triggered by others and certain aspects of ourselves, of our lives, we're also going to be less triggered about things that maybe we don't like about ourselves. Like sometimes we have memories about mistakes that we made and things that we did, and we go, oh, I don't like that how I do that, right? But again, if we can have this assumption, that mistake I made when I was 6, throwing a basketball, and then, or even younger, when I was a little baby and something went down, and I made up that it meant this about me. If we can own that, yeah, something did go down, and part of it's true, but also part of it's imagined, part of it's made up. It's inevitable. That's how the mind works. Imagination's going to come in and play a role. If we can own that, then we're less reactive. We're not being driven by myth anymore. We're being driven by truth. Now, again, we might not be able to remember the whole thing that happened back then, but who cares, right? As Tony Robbins says, your past does not equal your future as long as the power and your attention is not on the past, right? Your past can definitely equal your future if your attention's on it, but if it's not, then you've got this whole new space to operate within. So I want you to question yourself right now. I want you to do a little inventory. Very powerful. If you just broke it down, we can do this together. I've got my journal in front of me here, but if we look at it like just for time's sake here, we go business/career. Okay, that's quadrant 1. Now we're gonna do it in quadrants there. Okay, business and career, let's say love, let's say health. Okay. And then the fourth one, let's say money, right? This tends to be the four main things that we stress about in life, right? Is our career or our business on track? Is our love life on track? Are we healthy? Do we have our money in check? Forget about, whether we're tuned into our truth or whatever. Think of fuck that. But let's go. Let's play with, what's here. Okay. So I want you to ask yourself, which out of these four are you most, you know, amped up about right now? Um, yeah, circle that and ask yourself, what memory plays a predominant role in my capacity to move forward? For example, if money's a thing, because you have a memory of your parents struggling. Again, you want to write that down, but you also want to challenge it and go, you know what? Part of my parents struggling is imagined. Part of it is. Part of it is. Okay. And again, if you collude a lot about how your parents struggled, then there's going to be a lot that's imagined. And even if you haven't been able to talk about it much, because it was so long ago and because you were so young, okay, there would have been aspects of it that you would have imagined. You wouldn't have been able to help it, right? If it's love, oh yeah, here we go, right? I bitch and moan a lot about my love life. I don't know about you guys, but I know for a fact that every time I've pulled out stories about past girlfriends that I've had, there has been a lot of imagination in there, right? So we want to own that. And again, it's not so we can work on breaking down what was real and what was not. It's so we can be less charged just by that assumption. Part of this is imagined, part of it's not real. The point of me getting so worked up about this is pointless. Okay. I challenge you to do that. Now, again, you're going to have this big cathartic release and end up crying and rolling on the floor, going, oh my God, the light is shining ahead of me. I finally understand it. No, it's not going to happen like that, right? But what this will do is it will make you sit up a little taller and it will make you second guess yourself and give yourself the chance to sit back, ground, when you're at the table with your friends, your family, your partner, next time you want to gossip, you'll know, oh, about to distort the shit out of what I'm about to remember here. Every time you want to bring up a memory, beware. Beware what you're doing. Because, another profound truth with this is I really do believe every time we're overly nostalgic, it's because we're resisting creating the future. We're resisting creating the future. I often think every time I'm, listening to old music that I've written or, continually fantasizing about old goals that I achieved and it's all past, it's because I don't want to move into the future. There's something there that's blocking me. Okay. Well, it's not there's something there that's blocking me. It might seem too far ahead. I might not know what to do next. And it's making me get all nostalgic about my life. Okay. There's no time for nostalgia. Okay. There's no time. We can appreciate, but once we've appreciated and owned what we've, whatever phase we've been in, we want to move forward. I want to create. I want to go to another level in my life. I want to see and bust other myths and narratives that aren't true, about me and the way I see the world, There's a whole thing, there's a whole reality out there that we don't yet exist. And it starts with this whole subject of mind, the myth in the mind. Okay. All right. Well, that's my time there. I'm going to do more videos on this subject because again, this runs very deep. But the first one is very much how imagination plays a part in memory. Okay, guys, if you enjoyed this, subscribe, share it with a friend, give it a like, and we'll see you next time.